I'm Elizabeth at A Literary Princess, and today I'm doing my February TBR. So, February is FebRegency. This is an event hosted by Emma from Bookish Princess, Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space, Jennifer Brooks, and Tristan from Tristan and the Classics. Did I participate last year? I think I did. I don't actually remember. The idea is to read books that were written during the Regency in February. So, some of my reads are for that. Some of them are arcs. I've got my Fairy Tale Friday read and my George Eliot project read, and plus some things for my academic work. So, let's jump right in. We'll start with the FebRegency reads. There are 5 challenges for this event. I am only doing technically 1, although I probably will be reading a poem because I am teaching the Romantic period in February, so I'll be reading some poems. We'll start with the FebRegency reads. So there are 5 challenges for FebRegency. The first is to read a Regency era poem. The second is to read a play. The third is to read a work of nonfiction from the Regency or about the Regency. And the 5th is to read a Regency work or author that is referenced or that influenced Jane Austen. So I am technically only talking about the 5th prompt today because that's the only one I'm really going to do. I will be doing the poetry one because I happen to be teaching the Romantic era this month. So I'll be reading some poetry and I'll probably talk about that in my wrap up, but I don't really want to talk about it right now. And also I'm very sick of poetry from reading for my exams. So I just have novels to talk about. The first one is actually the group read for the event. This is Evelina by Frances Burney. I have read this before and I really loved it, so I am excited to reread it. This is an epistolary novel focused on a young woman, Evelina, coming out into society and all that entails. It's hilarious. It's great. So excited to reread this. The second read is one that I was supposed to read for my exams and I just didn't. This is Ivanhoe by Walter Scott. Walter Scott was probably the most popular novelist during the Regency era. I have read Waverley already. I wasn't a huge fan, but Ivanhoe sounds like it might be more interesting to me. This is taking place during the time of Richard the Lionheart and Robin Hood and all that. So I guess it follows a guy named Ivanhoe who goes on a crusade to the Holy Land with Richard the Lionheart. So hopefully it'll be good. I don't know. Waverley was meh, but we'll see. This next one is probably a bit of a reach considering how many other things I have on this TBR and how many of these books are really chunky. But luckily, if I don't get to it or don't finish it in FebRegency, it can carry over to March of the Mammoths. This is Cecilia, also by Frances Burney. Look at that. Look at it, it's so big. Why? It is, with notes, 1,004 pages. Oh boy. So this is another book about a woman coming out into society and trying to find a husband, but here's the catch. Cecilia is an heiress, but in order for her to get her fortune, she has to find a man who will take her name when they get married. So this seems like it'll be super good. Will I get to it this month? I don't know, but I would really like to. And if not, March of the Mammoths is next month. So, all right, moving on from the FebRegency reads, we have my read for Fairy Tale Friday for February. This is Snow and Rose by Emily Winifred Martin. It is a middle grade retelling of the fairy tale Snow White and Rose Red. So the feature on this will be up on my blog. I'll probably link it in the wrap up for the month, but I'm super excited to read this. It's so pretty. It's illustrated. Ugh. I'm so excited. But yeah. Then we have my George Eliot project read. This is her first true novel, Adam Bede. I tried to read this for my master's degree and got less than halfway through and stopped. I was so bored, but I've heard really great things about this one, so hopefully I like it more this time around. I hate this ugly little spot from where there was a sticker. Stickers on books are evil and they need to stop. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And now I have 2 reads for a paper that I am writing for the NEMLA conference in March. First of all is The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. I just read this, actually last March is when I read it. I was reading it at NEMLA last year. But I am writing a paper on it and I want to do a quick reread to get quotes and whatnot. I adore this book. It was one of my favorites from last year, so I'm very excited. And for the same paper is a kind of a reimagining of The Woman in White. This is Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. So this is also a reread for me, which means hopefully I'll be able to get through it a bit fast because it's a bit chunky. This is set in the Victorian era. It follows Sue Trinder, who is a thief, as she goes in with this man named the Gentleman to try to con a woman, Maud Lily, out of her fortune. And things don't go how you would think they would. This draws very heavily on Charles Dickens, but also very heavily on The Woman in White. So I am using it in my paper. The last 2 that I have to talk about are actually arcs. This first one is The Ingenue by Rachel Kapelke-Dale. This came out in December of last year and I just didn't get to it because exam reading. I read The Ballerinas by her back in, I guess it was 2021, and really liked it. So The Ingenue is focused on a former piano prodigy, and it's a thriller mystery. We'll see. Hopefully I like it as much as I liked The Ballerinas. The second arc that I have is Nocturne by Alyssa Wees. This is a historical fantasy set in 1930s Chicago, focusing on a ballerina. It sounds like it's going to be a bit of a retelling of The Phantom of the Opera, or at least that's the vibes I'm getting from it, and I think that's probably why I requested it. So hopefully it will be enjoyable. The reviews are a little iffy right now, but we'll see what happens. This comes out on February 21st, so this is kind of the priority for the arcs since it's coming out soon. And I would like to actually be up to date on my arcs. So that is everything that I am planning to read in February. Will I get to it? I don't know, they're very chunky. We'll see. Let me know down in the comments below, have you read any of these? What did you think? What are you reading in February? It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.